is love a risk worth taking? Khadija trusted you with her heart. She did everything that she thought a female companion was supposed to do to keep you interested, to keep you engaged, to keep you from losing interest, and to keep you from looking at other women. Or, if her mind would ever think of the absolute worst case scenario, to keep you from actively pursuing the love interest. What's a girl gotta do? This was a statement that played over and over in her head like a broken record, but unfortunately, in that song, there was never a concrete answer. There was never a comforting answer. Not only did she not receive an answer from within, which is her conscious mind, but she was greatly disappointed that she received no answer on the outside, which was reassurance from her partner that there was no need for the conscious mind to even entertain such a question. She's left to try and figure things out on her own. A young 25-year-old female, in love, trapped in a world where no one understands her plight. Sure, she has friends, but the advice they give does not satisfy her emotional need to be wanted by this man. They tell her to leave because he's no good. They tell her she can do better and will find better. She believes them not. She is fully invested in the man she loves. She loves hard like most young women is known to do. She imagines a scenario where he will recognize that he has a great woman that he should honor and respect by changing his ways. Not major changes, just a few minor changes so that she can point out to her friend that she indeed has a good man. Yes, the opinions of her friends indeed matter despite her statements to the contrary. Unfortunately, she's imagining the unimaginable. She shudders to think that her friends were right about who she thought was Mr. Right, but in fact was dead wrong. It's really possible he may not be good for me, she thinks to herself. Her friend's claims were validated one night when she goes through his phone and finds inappropriate text messages being exchanged. Salacious text messages, very graphic in nature with all the trimmings as you might imagine. And to top it all off, there's a time and place that they were to meet up. A nice hotel in the downtown area of the city, a floor high enough that allows for a perfect view of the city while the two are doing God knows what, as she continues to think and become increasingly hurt by each thought. The day of decision has arrived. She still is holding on to any last-minute hope that this is all a misunderstanding on her part, but reality is setting. She accepts his excuse on why he can't hang out with her tonight, but she knows the real reason why, painfully. Nevertheless, she plays along. She doesn't even know why she's playing along at this point. She just is. He hangs up the phone, but not before uttering the predictable words, I love you. Not able to focus on anything at the moment and probably for the foreseeable future, she decides to drive down to the hotel to receive possible confirmation that this relationship is going to end. As she's driving to the location, all type of thoughts and questions are going through her head. What does she look like? Why her? Is she more his type than me? How long have they known each other? Is this an emotional relationship, or is it just a casual sexual thing? Did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? Is she more attractive than me? Does she even know that I exist? Does she even care to know that I exist? Why would she? Is her final question as the thoughts begin to dissipate. She arrives at the location. All is quiet. There are people out. It is a very busy night, but she sees them not. She hears them not. She only sees what she sees as she sits in a car and is forced to accept what she sees. She has gotten her confirmation. Before her very eyes is the person that used to be her man, the person that she gave her everything to, the person she was planning a future with. There he stood, with her, the other woman, as they held hands and made their way into the hotel, disappearing from her view, more than likely for the last time. Her heart was shattered. She couldn't muster enough strength in her limbs to confront the two of them at the very moment, so she resorts to the only reasonable alternative, and that is to drive off. So that's just what she does. She drives off. After crying herself to sleep, she finally mustered up enough courage to text him. The text was simple but painful to type. It read, "It's over," and it was definitely received on the other end. She didn't call. She couldn't call because the sound of his voice may make her weak and vulnerable. The sound of his voice may make her go back to the place where she doesn't need to be, in his arms. She sends that text accompanied with a picture of the hotel. That was received as well. She immediately deletes his number and removes herself from social media altogether, as she sits there alone, in darkness, total darkness, unending darkness. Nothing accepting any calls from her friends or family at the moment. She is left in darkness to try and piece it all together. Not knowing what the future holds, she quickly reasons that something like this can never ever happen again. Ever. She will never give another man her heart like this again. She can't bear the thought of being hurt like this once again. She's too afraid to. She's too afraid to love again. Many of us at one point in our lives have asked this age-old question, this timeless question: what is love? The very question itself draws you in because we have a deep-seated connection to the word love. It's a word we've grown accustomed to and a word we've used most of our lives. There are a lot of emotions tied to the word love. To answer such an important question, we might be best served by attempting to define the word love. The Oxford Dictionary defines love as an intense feeling of romantic attachment based on an attraction felt by one person for another. Intense liking and concern for another person, typically combined with sexual passion. So, that's pretty good. A simple, straightforward meaning to a very powerful and complex word. But consider this. In Greek language, this same powerful word has four different and distinct meanings. These meanings can help provide a deeper appreciation of the word love because they take on different meanings for different people in different contexts and may prove valuable to improving relationships, particularly spousal relationships. Philia is the type of love found in strong friendships. This is an important concept in relationships because you often heard the idea expressed that your partner should not only be your husband or wife, but should also be a close or best friend. Very important type of love. We all know couples who started out as friends and eventually got married. They already formed this type of love during the friendship phase of their relationship and can and should continue to build on that to make their relationship that much better, stronger, and longer lasting. Eros is the type of love found in romantic relationships. Passion and intimacy are the essential components that drive this type of love forward. You're in love when the love is defined as eros. This type of love often shared with your spouse, or in some cases, once upon a time, shared with your spouse. But this is the type of love often thought about when we use the word love. It is important not to confuse this type of love with lust. They are two completely different concepts, and we will eventually discuss in detail on how the two differ at a later date and time. The young couple is heavily immersed in this type of love, eros, during the early stages of their relationship. Storge is the type of love often found in family relationships. The older sister shows love for her younger brother as evidenced by her overprotectiveness in everything that he does. The mother's undenying love for her baby as she carried him in her stomach for 9 months and now she gets to love and adore the creation she's departed. The father working countless hours, no days off, to provide the best education, a comfortable lifestyle, and a bright future for his baby girl as he tucks her in goodnight after reading a bedtime story. Empathy, compassion, and affection rules the day when story day is the love being discussed. Agape is the type of love that is selfless or unconditional love. It has also been described as love on the highest level or a spiritual love. The exchange of vows during the wedding is a reminder that the two parties that this is the type of love that is expected, promising to be together for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in good times and bad. This is the type of love that takes maturity, time, and patience. The type of love that a person and his or her partner must develop and evolve to. It's the little things in a marriage that helps it go a long way. A text stating, I love you. Random dinner outings after you secured adequate babysitting for the kids. A foot rub or warm bath after a hard day of work. These are the selfless things that we appreciate about our partner. Many of us at one point in our lives have asked another age-old question, another timeless question, why does love hurt? As we observe the current state of affairs, we see that love in and of itself is slowly fading away. This is in part due to the lack of patience, the lack of selflessness, and an unwillingness to love unconditionally. We have exchanged our willingness to love unconditionally for the sake of individuality and independence for all the wrong reasons. We have taken a beautiful concept filled with happiness, possibility, and joy and turned it into a word that is used for the purpose of mistreating and misusing and abusing others. This word love has been used for the purpose of the individual to drain his or her partner out of all his or her resources before moving on to the next person, or better yet, the next victim. That word love, in many instances, have been used just to hurt people. It has been an effective strategy used by individuals to mistreat his partner. Why? Because that word love unarmed the protective guard that the individual has as a last standing barrier of protection of her vulnerable state. And that protective barrier gets removed because the heart is trusting. The heart is trusting while at the same time it cannot overcome the mind and any rational thought. Mind is unable to overcome this tidal wave of emotion that the individual experiences. In many cases, the woman has no defensive fight in her. She's tired, she's emotionally drained, and reluctantly she gives in, capitulating her principles and standards to meet the demands of a person whose intent is not wholesome, whose intent is not good. The trusting heart gets misused again and again and again. Khadija, the girl in the story, found herself having to contend with such a problem. It is a problem that many people have, being able to love again after the disappointment suffered from a broken heart. Is love a risk worth taking? Fortunately, the answer is yes. Yes, it is. Love is an inevitable reality that we hope to have experienced or we hope to experience at some point in our lives. It's a feeling that is often described but can't be felt unless you're in it. It's unavoidable, it's inescapable. It's one of the greatest social emotional encounters you experience in your lifetime. You are lucky to experience such a powerful emotion, even after heartbreak. Yes, even after heartbreak. Why? Because the heart and mind is in a perpetual state of reaching out for love and connecting with love. It's in the songs that we listen to. It is seen in the interaction between men and women. It's in the first kiss you receive. It's in the short walks home that you wish will never end because you're with him. It's waiting by the phone and hope she will call you but playing it cool when she actually does. Love is a risk worth taking because you are here and you are the living proof that it is a risk worth taking. Was it not your mother and father once upon a time that fell in love and created you? And that shouldn't be too hard to comprehend. I mean, I hate to remind you, but it was the love of your mom and dad once upon a time that is responsible for your existence today. Was not love a chance worth taking for them? You are the living proof that the love is a risk worth taking because you are the result of that risk that was worth taking. It is a beautiful thing if you can understand. Our bad experiences often make us not only question our efforts of finding love, but it has a dark and disturbing way of discouraging others from pursuing and taking chances on love. They give up on love before they even have a chance to encounter love. They go by the experiences of the negative elders and superimpose those experiences onto their own. Their experiences, referring to the youth, with love has become a reflection of bad advice they receive from people not qualified to talk about black love. You don't believe me? Probe your immediate environment and find out how many true black on black love stories currently exist in the black community. How many positive, uplifting stories of love does the black man share about and to the black woman? How many positive, uplifting stories of love does the black woman share about and to the black man? I am sorry to report that you won't find many. The youth take note of this, carry that same negative energy out into their prospective relationships, and those rose petals fall off, withers away and die before they ever had a chance to blossom. It's a shame. It really is a shame. You see, someone must teach the youth that love is worth the risk. We must teach youth that good black love is a risk worth taking because from its unlimited potential, power unions and what's more, powerful families and dynasties are formed. We must think on a large scale when we talk about love. We have to think in terms of communities and nationhood. We have to think about our tomorrow. Therefore, you must take a chance on black love because you know the children are the future. You know that a black woman who is in love will produce children. She will produce good children. A black woman that is cared for and honored will happily produce children for her black man. A black man that is respected by his wife and honored by his children will want to have a big family. A black man and establish a path for them to journey through and be successful. These are the two of the greatest examples of why love is always a risk worth taking. It's not easy, but it's about the potentiality of a prosperous future long after we are gone. So, my people, when asked is love a risk worth taking, your answer, yes it is, and it always will be. That's all for today. I thank you for listening. Love Black Self.